Chances are, if you clicked on this video, you're thinking about moving to the Quad Cities, and Davenport may be one of those options. Well, I get a lot of people from out of state looking to move here. I want to put this complete guide together to show you how to actually move to Davenport. Now, the first thing that you're really going to want to do is narrow down exactly where you want to live. You can do some research online, you can check out some of my videos, try to figure that out, but that's the very first key, because that changes everything about the dynamics of actually moving here. Do you want to be close, say, to the river? Or do you want to be closer to some shopping? What city do you want to? In the Quad Cities, there's 4 main cities. You got Davenport, which is the biggest and largest. You got Bettendorf on the Iowa side. You got Moline, and then you got Rock Island. And each of those cities is very, very different to live in, not only from a financial standpoint, but also from just the environment that you're around and the atmosphere. In Davenport, you're gonna have a lot more shopping than, say, in Bettendorf. Now, luckily for you, if you're moving to the Quad Cities, everything's pretty interconnected, so you're not too far away from anything, but we can't move the house once you decide where you want to be. So make sure you're deciding which areas you want to move to before you start falling in love with houses, because you can knock out a wall, you can change the kitchen, but you can't really ever move that house without a lot of effort. So make sure you know where you're moving to. And guys, I am a licensed real estate agent here in the Quad Cities, and this is what I do every single day, is help people decide where they want to live. So make sure you pause this video, write down my number, send me a text, send me an email. I'll be willing to help you out, find exactly where that place is, because that is the very first step. So hit me up down below. Now, this next point doesn't apply to everybody, and it really is on whatever your situation is currently. So if you have a house to sell, this does apply to you, and this talks about more about like timing. So if you have a house to sell in a different state, I wouldn't really even start looking at houses here until your house is under contract, and preferably all the way through inspection period, because it does make a huge difference when you start writing offers on homes here. Because if you have a contingency of even listing your house, you're going to be put to the bottom of the pile if there's a multiple offer situation, and it just doesn't help your case. So make sure that you get it sold or get it under contract through this inspection period before you start looking at homes. And guys, if you don't have a trusted real estate agent wherever you are, through YouTube, I am connected to a ton of agents. I'm connected with somebody in every single state. So let me know, I can hook you up. But if you do have a preferred agent and you contact me, make sure we're connected so that we're on the same page as far as the sale of your home and how we have to handle it on this side. So this is a big deal when you're actually moving here to the Quad Cities, to make sure that people are connected so that you don't have to be paying for 2 houses when you get here. Now that you're on your way, you got your house under contract, we're on the way of purchasing the new home here in Davenport. Really, the next biggest step is to start scheduling your movers. And if you're moving across state lines, I highly recommend hiring a moving company. Yes, you can do the U-Haul thing. Yes, it might be a little cheaper, but it's just gonna be a lot more going on. You're gonna have to be planning the timing a little bit better, because you're not necessarily a professional mover, so you're not gonna have all your systems in place to make this happen. So make sure you're hiring a reputable mover when you're moving across state lines. And that's something I can help you out with. I do have some contractors that I work with that are nationwide, because what you don't want to happen is hire a moving company that's not reputable. I've heard horror stories of people packing up all their whole household, and all of a sudden that moving company's truck just disappears. There's no way to track them, there's no way to get it back. So you do not want that happening. So make sure you're hiring a reputable moving company, because they're gonna make it, 1, a smoother transition for you, and 2, they're not gonna steal your stuff. So make sure you do your research and make sure you're getting a good moving company, so that when you move here, your stuff is moved in, everybody's happy, and you can start living your life here in the Quad Cities, because it is very important to get that done. Now, right along with hiring the moving company, once you're under contract, we need to start thinking about transferring the utilities. Yeah, it seems like something that you would do after closing, but technically you should probably be doing that before you're closing on the house. As soon as you close on the house, you get possession. That is one thing about Iowa and Illinois, if you decide to go on Illinois side, is that you get possession right at the closing table. And you want to make sure that your water and your electricity is still up and running at that point. So you want to make sure to transfer your utilities during the process up until closing. So make sure you're given, the utilities. So Mid-American. So Mid-American is the big gas and electric here. American Water is the big water, but it all really depends on what city that you decide to move to. And that's something I can help you out with, because each city is a little bit different. Some cities will handle different items, and sometimes it's just a different company. So make sure that you're getting those utilities switched over. But not only just the utilities, a lot of times internet is almost as important as water to some people. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but it's true. So make sure we're doing our research on internet providers. The three main big internet providers that I have seen, and I may be missing some, is Metronet, Mediacom, and CenturyLink. Now, CenturyLink, personal opinion, I don't really like them. This is from a personal experience of mine. I hired them. I got my internet. They quoted me a certain number. I think it's 15 megabits per second. I get in the apartment and I test the speed, and it comes out to be like 2 megabits per second. So I was obviously frustrated. I give them a call and they tell me they can't even provide 15 megabits per second. So the person on the phone either lied to me or didn't know. Regardless, I was really upset with them. But that is one company. You can try them out. Let me know what you think of them. The other two, Mediacom, that's a decent company that I've used in the past. The only issue I had with them is that they are getting kind of expensive, to be honest with you. I was paying about $100 a month a couple years ago and only getting 50 megabits per second upload and our download speeds, and it just, for the price, it really wasn't getting me a whole lot. And really the newcomer is Metronet. They are an all fiber, so you get upload speeds and download speeds of the same. So I get currently 200 megabits upload and download, and I'm paying only about $60 a month. So I love Metronet, but again, you have to decide what's best for you and your family when it comes to internet, because some people don't care about the speed. They just need something simple. So make sure you're doing that before you get here, getting that set up, and set it up for your closing date so that you have it, immediately after you get moved in. And once you actually move here, make sure you're starting to get involved in the community. I love this community. That's why I make videos like this, to tell people about the community, what it's like to live here. But make sure you're getting involved. In different ways that you can do that is, there's things like the Quad Cities Chamber. You can sign up for their newsletter. It will tell you events that go on. Another great organization is Visit Quad Cities. Same idea. They give out different events going on, what's going on in the Quad Cities as a whole, and they're both really great about hosting events as well. So get involved in the community. And just a little plug on my end, I do have a Facebook group, same name as the channel, Living in the Quad Cities. I post out events and stuff going on in the community as well, so feel free to join that if you end up moving here. But like I said, I am a licensed realtor, and I love helping people find where they want to be here in the Quad Cities. So hit me up down below if you have any questions about where to live. I'm the one to ask. Otherwise, if you want to learn more about what the Quad Cities is like, well, check out this video right here, because I do cover it in more detail.